trying to play me. I bet they make a movie when I die just to talk about my life. They need an actor to portray me. I ain't settling for nothing that be under an M. There's only one of me, there's 100 of them. Gotta listen close, I drop hundreds of gems. From the start, no, I wasn't pretend. With the world on my back, had to drop my own ego. Problems at the crib, we couldn't fix at Home Depot. Dad was on tilt, mom's off the vino. Room full of smoke like we lived in a casino. She know, day I moved out is when I opened my eyes. Looking for the truth like God show me a sign. I'm not religious or the holiest kind, but the blessings came to me when I opened my mind. I was running around the city, man, I knew I had to make some. Wasn't raised a thief, but if I had to, I would take some. Worked the Frito-Lay, I was writing on my break, son. Plotting on a record, waiting for the day we break one.
I'm really busy, just wrapping up some stuff in the studio. Yeah, everything's good. I mean, it's just been a lot of like settling in and whatnot. Yeah, I'm not really sure when I'm coming back. I don't have any plans of it right now, but I'm just figuring a lot of shit out right now.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the
Well, that was fun. Well, you know, I always start this show off for the second time, showing love to those companies who help make this podcast possible. Start off with my friends over at Yellow Jacket. Guys, you know I'll never tell you what to buy, where to buy it. All I like to do is if you're looking to upgrade something or you need a service, I like to work with some amazing sponsors to be able to get you some really good companies and maybe get a deal on it. Like it goes with Yellow Jacket. If any of you are out there looking to upgrade some of your tools going in the winter, maybe you've never bought a combustion analyzer, you need to buy a new one, you've never had a dual port manometer, or whatever it is, all I ask is give my friends over at Yellow Jacket a look. I know they're not the flashiest, but I know they make some of the most dependable products on the market, and I've been using them my whole time in the trade. From when I first came in with my dad. I love Yellow Jacket. I love their tools. They do exactly what they're supposed to. And the fact that they're made right here in the US of A. So with that being said, if you're going to spend some of your money, go check out my friends over at Yellow Jacket. And remember, 70 years of expertise built into every tool. Next is my newest sponsor that I told you guys is HOUSECALL Pro. So all of you out there, if you are a business owner or a manager and you're looking to grow your business and work simply, get off pen and paper or stop using these little bullshit apps that just can't handle what you're trying to do, you're trying to be professional, HOUSECALL Pro is it. I said this before, my guest today will tell you I was one of the biggest critics of this company. And all they have done is prove me wrong. We use HOUSECALL Pro at Beltway, and it has been amazing for us. They have added so many features. They've grown so much over the years that they are absolutely amazing. And what you get for what you pay, it's a steal. There's some other big boys out there, but I tell you right now, it's going to cost an arm and a leg. and you can get all those features minus a few things with HouseCall Pro, and you can do everything you need to do to run an amazing business. Like I said, this is so new. I don't have my offer yet, but if you just contact HouseCall Pro and say that, hey, I came to you from HVAC Uncensored, when my promo gets done, they will back trace it and make sure that you get it. Some of you that have reached out to me that have already signed up, like my friend Mr. Outlaw, they will make sure that whatever my offer is, that you get it. Okay? With that being said, let's get on to the show. Oh yeah, work simpler, grow smarter, HouseCall Pro. Now, on to the show. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless the United States, and thank you to all those men and women who defend it.
Welcome to the #1 rated HVAC podcast. If you're looking to grow in the HVAC industry, then you're in the right spot. Blue collar people talking about blue collar shit. Let's get better together. So turn up the volume, buckle your seatbelt, and let's welcome your host, Gil KV Jr.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. I'm your host, Gil KV Jr. Here we are, another Wednesday, another hump day, another fucking amazing show. I don't know what the fuck just happened. We were recording, but it wasn't streaming. Thank God that I realized, I was like, hey, Kelly, I don't think we're talking to anyone before the whole show was gone, so I apologize. Once again, I apologize for the stream crashing on Monday. I don't know what happened. The software I use is pretty much is rock solid. So I'm going to double check and make sure that I didn't change anything or fuck anything up. So I apologize about the mishaps. As far as Monday goes, awesome show. Thank all of you for being there. We pretty much closed it like right after that because it kept recording. You can check out that audio. With that being said, another thing that I missed Monday, just being a different day, I wanted to make sure that I said Happy Veterans Day and then Happy Birthday to the United States Marine Corps. So to all of you out there, I hope you enjoyed yourself. Thank you for what you do, fighting for this country to make us all be able to sit here and watch YouTube and talk to a microphone. So I forgot to say that on Monday, which would have been the closest show. So I wanted to make sure that I said that today. With that being said, man, I got an amazing guest tonight. If any of you have followed me for any period of time, you know who this is. When I first had the thought of HVAC Uncensored and I was going to podcast, this person reached out to me and was like, hey, bro, if you do this, I'm down. And I was like, fuck it, let's go. And that's exactly what we did. And we did this for almost 100 fucking episodes together. And it was so much fun. And things happened. The other interests come, which we'll get into that. So with that being said, guys, my old co-host, my brother from another mother, Mr. Kelley motherfucking Mckay.
What is up, my man?
What's up, buddy? So round
Here we
two.
go again.
Let's do
take
this
two.
again.
Yeah, that's right. So
but-
even if I'm repeating myself, I'll just say it again. Like, I'm super proud of like where the podcast has gone. You went in podcast of the year, like adding extra sponsors. Like, you go, boy. Keep it up, man.
Thank you, brother. I really do appreciate that, man. I wish that it would have taken off when you were here, man, because me and you put in the groundwork for this to be able to turn in what it is, man. This shit doesn't happen overnight. Like, yeah, the podcast is finally doing financially amazing, but it's all those episodes of me and you doing this shit for fucking a couple $100 and being like, is this fucking worth it? Like, do I really want to do this? So it was a lot of hard times, and this wouldn't be what it is today without the time that me and you both put in. So I appreciate you for that.
Man, you've been the backbone to this podcast since day one. I just showed up and had fun talking about HVAC business and anything HVAC business, because we're both service techs at heart. We've done all aspects of any residential company, light commercial company, and so yeah, it's always been you've always been the person to make this thing happen. So you deserve the success, and I'm happy for you. And that's the thing too. We started to talk about it, but there was no hard feelings. There was nothing nothing like that. Gil took a break. I took a break. And then whenever it was time to come back, I don't even remember how long the break was at this point, because we were talking about that, like just how long ago this was. It's been 3 or 4 years, man.
Yeah.
Since we've done a podcast together, and we did so many together. So
and I'll put you this way,
crazy.
It was a good break, because some of the sponsors had reached out to me and they were like, "Hey man, are we still doing this?" And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? And that wasn't like I was trying to, take their money and like not do it. It's just I didn't know what I wanted to do, and then I made the decision to go. So I wanted you all to know that. Most of you who follow know, but a lot of people at the time had asked me, oh, because of what happened with me and John Israel, like, oh my God, did you and Kelley get into a fight, or what happened? So that's why we're talking about this. When we were recording the podcast the first time that you guys weren't watching, we talked about it. So that's why he brought that up. We wanted you all to know that that was not the case. Like I said, we took the break. This takes a lot of time and effort. We did this for a few years together, 100-something episodes, interviewing people every fucking Wednesday. And we were consistent because we held each other accountable. Kelley had other passions he wanted to pursue. As a friend, I was like, dude, go do what you want to do, man. And I'm happy to see what he's doing, that makes him happy. And then I was able to keep going with this. And I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it by myself. So thank God that it worked out. But that's what happened, just so you all know.
Absolutely.
With that being said, what the fuck have you been up to, Kelley? What has happened since you left the show?
Man, a lot of shit has happened. So I was approached early last year. Well, here's what happened. So I had visited with my territory manager for one of our suppliers, and just during lunch, I casually told him, like, someday I'm going to exit this company. And it just so happens, like a year later, he's having lunch with a different dealer, and they get to talking, and this particular dealer is interested in purchasing a company. They didn't know who they wanted to purchase. They just knew they wanted to purchase a company. And so he thought of me, and he didn't mention my name, but he called me after that meeting. He said, "Hey, Kelley, if you," actually texted me, he said, "Hey, when you're not around anybody, give me a call." And so as soon as I was able to step outside and give him a call and be by myself, I did. And he said, "Would you, I've got a dealer that's interested in purchasing somebody. Would you, entertain the idea?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll definitely entertain it. I'm open." And so a week and a half later, I made contact with the manager there. And a week and a half later, we were having lunch. And man, from the start, from when he told me about this and we had that first lunch till the day I'm like walking out and I don't really have a job anymore, it was like 1.5 months. And I owned the business for over 14 years and, did pretty well. But it's been a journey, man. Just not having, like, I lost a piece of my identity there for a minute when I didn't have a team anymore. I lost my significance. I wasn't a business owner anymore,
Yeah, because you were intertwined in that place, man. Every time we talk, it was this person, that person doing this. So I can only imagine. And when you let me know, and numbers are irrelevant, that's your business, but I just wanted you to get what what was okay for you for all the time and years that you put into it. So if you were happy, I was happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I saw you guys go on a vacation afterwards. I was like, good, man. Like, you're being able to spend time and what this fucking life is really for,
You just nailed it, man. I'll tell you what, that's a real subject right there. We have taken some vacations, and my wife was like, "You just shouldn't work probably for the next 2 years. Just relax." Because I've literally, destroyed my body, destroyed my probably a good portion of my health just from stress and everything that comes with running a business. We were in a decent place to where I had a manager and I didn't have to be there every single day, but I'm kind of a workaholic. And I think a lot of heating and air conditioning company business owners and techs are workaholics. And so it was hard for me to shut it off. It was hard for me to step away, just like most of us. But I didn't have a place to go to anymore. So I didn't have an excuse. I couldn't, so we took a couple of vacations. And then I did take about 3 months where I just shut it off and I didn't do much of anything. I read, I watched YouTube. I just kind of piddled my days away. And then since then, we started building products because, as you know, because I was doing this before when we had the podcast, is I was doing a little coaching. I had some courses that people could purchase, and I was doing some coaching, and it was time to, we had ramped that up over the last couple of years. So we have like over 50 clients right now. And I know it's not a ton, but from a startup coaching business, that's not bad either.
No, hell no.
But we got to a point where we wanted to, and I needed something to keep me busy because I'm just kind of obsessive like that. And so we decided to start making some more products, for our coaching business. So honestly, the last year and through through a good portion of this year, I've been on a ton of sales calls with other owners that have reached out that are interested in joining the program. So I've gotten a lot of insight on a lot of people out there as far as what they go through, and which I completely understand it because that was me.
Yeah.
And
like we talked about, man, and it's, there's when it comes to coaching, and people get scared, and coaches are good because you can learn things that you didn't know. But me and Kelley talked about this on the first set, and it's 100% true. It's, you have to be able to implement what you learn. Even if technical, business, what in life, whatever it is, you have to implement something. The implementation part is almost as important as the learning part of it. Because if you learn and you come back and you don't do anything, then what the fuck did you really just learn?
Probably not shit.
Yeah, it was useless.
I mean, but we do this all the time, and I'm just as guilty as the next guy. I think I know something intellectually, like, oh yeah, I know that. But if I'm not actually executing it in my business and getting that experience and taking action on what I know, then it's kind of like this quote I saw the other day that said, he who does not read has no advantage over he who cannot read. So think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, you if you can read, you have a huge opportunity to do something with that, to learn and then implement. Well, it's kind of that way with learning the business, which is, I mean, think about it, man. It's you have to have like a broad knowledge of all these different aspects of the small business. And we're used to just handling our wheelhouse, which is, in a van, running calls or installing units.
Or they're techs. They know dick about business.
Yeah.
We've covered this a million times. Most people starts off as side work. You're getting cash. You don't care about how much you're charging because it's extra money. You're probably taking your boss's parts and using his refrigerant. So you don't care until now this becomes your way of life. And, sometimes in the beginning you take off and you're like, oh, it looks like real money until everything's paid for and you look in the bank and it's not. And then when you start trying to be legit, that's when you need that help, somebody to guide you. Like we used to always say, a bookkeeper, keep your books tight, like all that kind of stuff. And you need help to do those kind of things, man. So it's good. So I know you were talking about, what is one of the things you had that I was curious that, if you say on here, you said you guys had the 5-day challenge or something like that was? What is that again?
That's one of the things that we implemented as I like needed to get myself busy and focused on a goal again, was we started these 5-day, we call it the HVAC Accelerator Challenge. And so each day you spend 1 or 2 hours with us, depending on which ticket you buy. We've got general admission, just gets 1 hour of training each day. If you do VIP, then you get a Zoom link and you join us for a meeting with 1 hour before the training starts. And then if you're platinum, we're going to coach you one-on-one and just answer your questions, and give you some insight and help you work your way through any challenge or obstacle that you're currently dealing with in your business. And we'll also, of course, give you some ideas and talk about maybe some skill sets that are missing that may need to be filled so that you can get to that next level in your business.
Nice.
And then I started writing a book again. I've written a couple of books, Go Make Money and Busyness to Business. But this one, I'm super proud of this one, dude. I think at least I'm hoping by January, February, it'll be ready to be released. But I've
Awesome.
worked on it for the last 4 or 5 months. I believe it's so good. It's going to change. It could completely, like anybody who's, getting ready to start a bit. It doesn't matter. It's for the whole industry. This book is for the whole industry. So I'll just leave it at that. So
It's
I'm
funny.
super excited about that.
That's awesome, dude. I that's so awesome that you're doing another one, dude. I'm happy for you. Like I've thought about that. Like I would like to do that, to like just like HVAC Chronicles, or just like the story of a tech or something. But then I'll get it when you open the book and it's like it's a story of a girl. But I've literally just like, yeah, exactly. That fucking song got in my head. I could not do that. But to just write a book about like everything, how it tied into HVAC, like my drug habit, like all of it, and just the life of a technician. And I thought about just putting my heart and soul in that, and then people can see the ups and the downs it takes, but obviously when it comes out at the end, like I made it out the other side. So I've thought about doing that, but I know I'm going to have to move and be settled because I'm going to have to dedicate myself to it. Like writing a book is not some easy task. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
You're doing another one.
it's not. It seems like it when you sit down and get started, but then you get about halfway down the first page and you're like, what should I write? But this one, I'd been like I read a lot last year after I got off. I just started pouring through books, and I had read several books and taken lots of different courses. And so this book actually just poured out of me. Like the first 3 months of writing, just like there was hardly any interruption. Then I got to the very end, and I had to take a few weeks off to just like, and that's not writing every single day. When I sat down and wrote, man, I'm like, it's just pouring out of me. So, but you seriously need to write a book, bro, because
Yeah, I know.
people need to hear your story. It could help a lot of people. And when it comes to you getting that out there, I mean, it's kind of like when we don't do a good job on service calls, you're doing the people a disservice, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about what I'm trying to do, because I'm so passionate about it. I struggled for so many years. I know what people go through. I know how hard it is to make the necessary transition into, being an owner or a manager. And it's not something that's easy to do. And it normally doesn't happen overnight, but with the right information, with the right strategy, you can do it. Anybody can do it. And that's what we like to do, is help people do that. And we've been pretty successful at it so far. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're also what we're really thinking about, because I have a business partner in the HVAC Millionaire Coaching, that's what we call it. And there's other things that people struggle with, like slow season. And so we're putting together a training right now for that. That's going to come out probably in January, possibly the end of December. That's called the No Slow Season Playbook. We want to get it out before the slow season actually hits. And for us in Kansas, at least, our slow season was always like the end of February, then March and April, maybe even part of May. So we want to get that out to people before that happens, so you can take that course, boom, implement, and just go slay your business.
Well, we've learned some stuff, man. We've been lucky at Beltway. We're like right now would be a slow season, and we're fucking crushing it.
Nice.
We took a marketing campaign that so far has worked. I won't, obviously I won't say the details. We're gonna keep that to ourselves because it's working. But we've had to, normally it's this time of year, especially in my area, people are laying people off. We just hired like 3 more installers.
Nice.
We're like, now it's like 4+ install teams that are almost busy every day. But I just want to make sure this stays consistent. Like we're not like, you know what I mean? Like let's see 3 months of it. Let's see it keep
You
going.
bet.
And if that happens, then, we think, because, we did something that didn't work, and it's very frustrating because it was like, it could have worked if we were guided in the right way. Um,
Yep.
that's a whole nother story that I won't get into, but we wasted, Ryan spent like 200 grand, and you might as well flushed it down the toilet, and that hurts. But I really think that this is working, and I think if we'd have done this sooner, that we would be 10 times where we are now. But um, it is what it is. You live and you learn. You keep
It
fucking
is.
rolling, and
It is. I mean, we can't cry over spilled milk, man. It's already done. It's in the past. So, and that's the thing too. You just hit on something there, because a lot of people will make that mistake, or they'll start working and they get busier and busier, and they start sacrificing family time and sacrificing their health and their well-being. And when that happens, they're so in the trenches that they don't realize that it could be any different. They just get used to it, and they think that this is what owning a business is.
yeah, I,
Until someday, I always say, and one of my mentors says this, but he says, everybody gets tired of trying harder at some point.
amen.
It's not about trying harder. It's about working smarter. It's about knowing the different strategies. I hate to keep throwing that word out there, but I'm telling you, there's strategies that can completely change your business.
It is, two things. Ryan has really helped me get into reading. I never really read books, and now that I have, I love it. Not as much as him. Ryan will breeze through a book in like a couple of days. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not that, but reading. And then we had something recently that happened at church, and they were talking about a digital cleanse. And it just kind of hit me, especially I came home when my daughter made a comment, my youngest daughter, Sophia, made a comment about um, us going to do something. And she's like, oh, well, or daddy's always busy. Like, I don't even get to see you, daddy. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, daddy, when he comes home. And she's like, oh, but then, you're on your phone. And she made a couple comments, dude. It was like a fucking stab in the heart. And I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? Fuck this. And I literally just took a break from social media. Like, I'd come home, I'd make sure everything was good with work. I'd sit my phone down on my dresser. I had my watch, so if it was like a work call that like was important, but I even told them, I'm like, if it's not an emergency, email me. I'll get to it the next morning. And I just engulfed myself in my family and doing things like that. Like I had to, and then I
Good for
slowly
you, man.
realized, yeah, that I had to go back in. I had to be on social media, to do things for the podcast and stuff like that, and easing my way back in. But I used this app when I was on the cleanse that our pastor told us that you tie all your social medias into it, and it only gave you like whatever time you set. And I think I set like an hour a day. You don't realize how fast an hour goes between all of them. Like, I
Yeah.
would mess with them, and like it would be like fucking 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's like, boop, you have reached your limit. I'm like, no shit. Like, how much you're actually doing it. Like, now
You
with the
ain't
whole,
kidding.
especially on iPhones, the screen time, go look at that. I mean, really pull it up and look at it and actually see what the fuck you're doing on your phone. And so when people say like, I'm too busy or I'm too busy for this, no, you're not. No, you're not. I guarantee
No.
that you have time that you're wasting. And I'm not saying we shouldn't have fun and you guys shouldn't hang out here and do this. That's not what I'm saying. But there's a lot of time that we waste that could be used for other things, Like you said, efficiency. Like, I try to get more efficient when it comes to work. Like, I work on one thing and get it done. Move on to the next.
Yeah.
Because I would always jump back and forth, go help this person, come back. And at the end of the day, I didn't feel fulfilled like I did anything.
Yeah.
So now I have certain times, and and this is another thing I get from Ryan is setting timers on my phone. And when that timer's up, I'll move on to the next thing. I email myself, hey, get back on this tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. The next day a fucking email comes through myself, hey, don't forget this. I'm like, oh shit, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
been trying to get better.
Go good, man. That's I think everybody, and I'm guilty of this too. It's like it's it's like a poison to your mind, because you cannot look through social media and not compare your life to somebody else who's living it up, or taking a vacation, or on a beach somewhere, or driving a fancy car, or in a loving relationship, which they say that people who post their relationships, they actually say they're usually a lot worse than people who don't. Just put it that way. There's like statistics on this. So, but here's the thing: is when you see other people's posts, it's not even that I look through and like, oh, he's better than me, or she's better than me, or I'm better than him. It's not that you're doing that like consciously, but you don't. When's the last time you compared yourself to someone and it came out equal? Never.
Yeah, no. I was gonna say, I was trying to think.
Never.
Like, I don't think so.
It doesn't. So but as far as like seeing how many hours you actually spend scrolling or on your phone per day, it's something to be ashamed of. I mean, I'm ashamed of it.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest, man. And it's too much time.
Well, and it's the social media life. Like you said, everybody wants to compare themselves to living with the Joneses, and most of the people on there that are living great, they're not. They're in financial ruins. They're credit rich. They're, you know what I mean? Their marriage is not good, and it's so that's, I've never cared what people think. It's, as long as the people in my household, they know what's going on and they're happy. It is what it is. And I put some things out on social media, but I actually cut back on that because it's like some of it's just like, who am I doing that for? My wife barely even goes on social media. My family, if they have to find out what's going on in my life through Facebook, then that's another problem, You
ain't kidding, man. Yeah, absolutely.
That should be through a phone call or like a direct message. Hey, look at this picture of your niece or your nephew. Not like, oh, I saw on Facebook. You know what I mean? So it gets...
Yeah, and when you realize if there's stuff that you want in life, whatever it may be, like you want to have a closer relationship, you want a better business, you want a better body, you want to feel better about yourself in any way, you don't realize how much of a disadvantage that scrolling all day is actually giving you in towards getting the things that you want, because you're not going to get it. There's nothing on there that you're going to get.
No.
As far as increasing any of those things I just talked about. So put the phone down. Yeah, I agree, man.
Yep. So
good advice.
I'm not saying dreaming, like having dreams is a bad thing, but if you're a dreamer, you'll always be a dreamer. You'll dream about what could have. A go-getter will go fucking get it. They'll go get that fucking dream. They'll put in the work to make it happen. That's why I say at the end of every show, and maybe it is because of my addiction, I don't know. When I got clean, I knew that I wanted to be something in life and that I wanted things in life. That being average was not what I wanted. And it lit a fire under my ass, and it's been there ever since. So that's why I always tell people, if there's something that you want to do in life, or there's something that you want to get, you want to learn, whatever it is, go fucking do it. Nobody's stopping you but you. That's why I say that at the end of every fucking show, just for that reason, that maybe it motivates one of you. People are like, I want to start going to the gym. Go to the gym. Like, why can't you? You can't afford it? Like, what? I don't know, man. It's not the right time. Well, then you don't really want to go to the gym. That's, you know what I mean? That's the answer to the question.
I'll say that about tattoos too. People all the time, oh man, I can't wait till I get this tattoo. And then I'm like, well, make an appointment. Just go get it then if you want it.
That's what I did.
So,
my son had wanted to get one.
That's how it works.
Yeah, my son had wanted to get one, and I took him down to meet my buddy, and I've been telling him for years, and he's like, when are you going to come see me? And I'm like, let's book an appointment. I'm like, what the fuck? And now it's been, now I go back tomorrow, add some more shit to the arm, and then I'm going to start this fucking arm,
Hell yeah.
Which I'm glad. I'm glad I finally got that tribute from my dad. That was up there. That was the most important. But yeah, it's been crazy. And then I'm pretty sure that the stuff I've been going through with my mom. She has stage 4 lung cancer, so we've been going through all the stuff for that. So, not to rain on this parade, but that's just been part of the struggle the last little bit, just trying to stay positive and that kind of stuff. But I've had an outpouring of support, so it's been awesome. It's one of those things. What are you gonna do? Sit around and fucking cry? You just Do
all
what
you
you got
can
to do.
do is make sure to have, spend as much time as you can with her each and every day, and then have those conversations that you want to have.
Yeah, and that's
You know,
exactly what we do when we go do things.
yeah,
There was one night it was like Saturday, and it was like 10:30 at night, and there's a one of those like diners, and my mom's like, she's like, I really love to go get she has this one meal she get. It's like a 6-ounce ribeye steak, mashed potatoes and gravy, a salad, a side of beets, and a dinner roll. Like that's it. That's what she gets. And she's like,
yeah.
I'd love to have that right now. And she's like, but you don't want to go out this late. I said, Mom, if you want to go to Honeybee Diner and get that steak, I'm like, let's fucking go. And I'll be goddamned if we didn't go there 10:30 at night, just me and
Yep.
her, and sat there and talked. I'm like, so if you want to do it, let's fucking do it, Mom. Like that's how it's gonna happen. Jen, you've probably never met Jen, but Jen is on the Misfits of HVAC podcast on Saturday nights with Ryan Hughesman HVAC. But I know she just lost her mom. You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and it makes it real. You know what I mean? So I definitely.
Oh
Like,
man, I
I'm not
was
in a fucking moment. That's for damn sure.
man. I feel like, man, I think we're starting to come full circle here, but so I lost my mom to advanced breast cancer, and
Mhm.
my dad committed suicide. Most people who follow me know that, and it's I didn't get any time with my dad. I did get a chance to tell him, that he was a great dad and how much I loved him. But I told him, how much I told him that I loved him every time I saw him. But anyhow, I didn't get any time before leading up to his death, really. Where my mom, I got like 2 years. She was in and out of the hospital. I went and saw her every single day. And then when there was nothing else they could do, they brought her home. I was there every single day, at least I couldn't always stay because I was running a business, like the very early stages of the business. But I made sure to come by. There was only one day that I didn't make it to the hospital, and I was just so busy. I had like an install going and several service calls or something. And the next day when I got there, my mom was like, "Where were you yesterday?" And I was like, so I knew, like, I'm not gonna miss another day. I made sure I saw her every single day for like two years straight, and she was in and out of the hospital, all kinds of problems that happened with that. But I was with her, when she took her last breath, and yeah, it's real.
Yeah,
Like
that's how I
it's
was on my dad. I watched my dad take his last breath, and
yeah,
part of me, I keep to, kind of like with this stuff. I think if you put positivity in the world, you get positivity back. I fuck the negativity. Like when it comes to my dad, me and my dad were very close, and when he passed, it crushed me to say the least. Especially when I lost my best friend and my dad 6 months later. I was the one who took care of him, changed his diapers. And does anybody want to do that? No. But if I had to go back, I'd do it all over again. For everything that my dad had done for me. And it was hard going through that stuff, like having to do it, like the stress on you. It's hard, and it made me hold some resentment towards other people. But then I think back, especially now doing it with my mom. I'm like, okay, now fuck it, starting all over again. I'm not having to do the diapers, nothing like that. We're not at that point. But having to, watch her sick. She can't eat. She's throwing up. Doctor's appointments. Watching her suffer and knowing nothing you can do. But then when I look
yeah,
back and I try to look at the positive part, and I'm like, but I also had all those moments with him that nobody else did.
you bet.
Like I was there with him. You know what I mean? So I try to see the positive part because a lot of it used to bother me that, I'd be like, where the fuck are some of my siblings? Like, why are they not here right now?
Yeah,
And for whatever reason it is, I was there. It is what it is. And, having that mentality is all it's going to do is just push my siblings farther away from me. It's not going to bring my dad back. So I just had to change my mindset and turn it into a positive thing that I had all those extra moments that other people didn't have,
100%,
Yeah.
100%.
And
I have one of my aunts is she's a saint, man. She's the rock of the family. And whether she's super close to you or not, she's who everybody turns to when somebody's having problems. And every time she's asked, "Hey, will you take so-and-so or they would be asking her themselves, could you take me to my, like, I don't have somebody to take me to my treatments, if somebody gets sick. And she's like, just between her and I, we've talked about it. And she said, God, what am I supposed to do? Like, I hate this because I'm going to get close to them. We're going to spend a lot of those moments together leading up to them leaving this earth, And so even though she takes it on like a champ, because she is a rock. She's an absolute rock. She's a fucking saint is what she is. But God, how it's really hard. It is really hard. Even though I knew what was coming with my mom, just like you knew what was coming with your dad, when it actually happens and you just see it happen right in front of you, like I'm holding my mom's hand as the life she takes, releases the last breath she'll ever release. And nothing can really completely prepare you for like being there when that happens, or just losing somebody you love. Even if you're not there, it's hard.
Yeah. People say like, oh, if it was sudden, it would be easier. No, it's not. Losing
No.
somebody of that magnitude, whether you know it's coming or don't know it's coming, it sucks regardless. There's no easy
Yeah.
way to do it, because I've had friends pass suddenly, and it shocks the shit out of you. Have had people that I knew was going to pass. It's not any fucking easier.
No.
So for that, anybody out there who's listening to this, if you're going through one of those struggling moments in your life, or maybe you just you lost somebody, or you're in the process of somebody who's sick, or maybe you're just in rough times and it feels like, what the fuck? Like, why me kind of deal. Keep pushing, man. It will get better, and fucking talk to somebody, okay? Don't hold it in. That's me. You know what I mean? Talk to somebody. You will get through the other side. So we didn't try to take this in that direction. It just did. But
yeah, no kidding, man. Thanks. What a welcome back, right?
Yeah, we always do that little fucking 180, and then all of a sudden. And if you call 1-900 HVAC Uncensored, I'm going to send you a free dildo. There you go.
It does when you lose a parent who you were close to, and who, if you had a decent upbringing and you cared for that person, like it leaves a hole in your heart for quite some time.
Oh,
I mean, it doesn't ever really go away, but
No.
but you just get better, I guess, at coping.
Yeah.
So
People that say time heals all wounds, it's not true.
yeah.
It's when I lost my dad, my best friend, two of my best friends have since passed. The hole's still there. You just learn to keep going because you have to, but it doesn't hurt any less.
Right.
Rookie said bullshit I've called many times and it never shows up. I will get that HVAC Uncensored Mark dildo right out to you. I might have to send you the little one. That's all I got left. But I told you I was going to get HVAC Uncensored tattooed on my penis, but all we got was HVAC. So I got to go back and try to get the uncensored. We're working on it.
You're going to have to get a pump or something.
Yeah, hurry. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, HVACU. So how was it, not to go back? So when you decided, like, how was it telling the team when you were moving on? Was everybody cool?
Man,
anybody like asshole to you or nothing?
Man, I'll tell you what. It was one of the hardest things I personally went through. So I'm not, and then I'll get to the team. Just me as a business owner, I've been through a lot of hard times in the business. But as soon as I knew like this is going to happen, man, you talk about the nerves, and there's just like that piece of you that feels like maybe you're quitting, even though you're not quitting. You're just taking like a great opportunity. Like, but it still felt like this is my baby.
Yeah.
Like I've blood, sweat, and tears over this damn thing, growing it the best I could with the knowledge I had, but yeah, when it came to so very difficult challenge going through that personally, and then when it came to the team, when it finally got to the point where okay, we're gonna have this meeting, and then we arranged it to where it was like on a Friday or something. And then on Monday, we would have the new manager come in and speak with the team to try to, answer any questions and maybe help possibly settle anybody's nerves. So once I did let the team know, everybody seemed not too, there was no big to do over it. But then, later as the day went on and then as the weekend came, everybody's thinking like, what's going to happen? Oh my God. Like everybody gets scared because it's just change.
Yeah.
So they knew change was coming. And so there was a lot of nervousness around that. But other than that, it went pretty smooth. I mean, I love my team. I still love, there's still some people there at the company, since my departure, and love those people, love everybody who worked with me. And even if we didn't always get along or see eye to eye, still got nothing but love for them, even if they left on bad terms.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I just want to see them win, and I would hope that they would think the same for me, but that's not always the case. So
Yeah, and you know what? In some moment you have to be selfish in a way, because I had somebody on the podcast not long ago that's what he does. He helps people sell businesses, and we got into this conversation. John, I think it was John Bueller. I said, I think about it from the text point, like, especially if I was like a 40, 45-year-old guy and like I gave this person the best years of my life, like, oh fuck, what's going to happen now? And
yeah,
it's scary. But then the same token, like somebody like you, if you're an owner and you don't have a son or somebody to pass it to, and this is what you've done your whole life, you deserve to be compensated for what you did. Like, that's not a bad thing. Like, that's just part of it. And it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like you said, the blood, sweat, and tears for 14 years, it wasn't to fuck anybody else. It was to better yourself for what you've put in, the opportunity that you gave people for 14 fucking years. Like, you deserve that. And it is what it is. And, I think that my mindset has become better now doing what I do. Granted, I don't own the company, Ryan does, but, I run the company. I'm behind the scenes. I see the decisions he has to make and,
Yeah.
and things like that. And it would suck, but if Ryan came to me, granted, not as long as you, but say, 10 years from now, hopefully I'm retired, but if Ryan came to me at some point and was like, hey, I don't think my son wants to do this, I'm going to sell it. It's going to suck, but what am I going to say? It's like, hey, this is your thing, man. Like, you do what you have to do that's best for you and your family. I know
Yeah.
Ryan's not going to, not anytime soon. That's one thing that's awesome about Ryan being younger than me,
Yeah.
By the
Yeah.
time he decides to do that, I'll be out of this motherfucker. So, but I get it. You know what I mean? And I definitely get it 100%. That's why back again, I don't know if this was the first episode that we did that nobody saw or the second one, that when I heard that what you were doing, and no, don't care about numbers, not my business, I wanted to know that you just got what you were happy with and got what you deserve, because, that's if you were happy, I was happy for you,
Yeah, and I'm perfectly happy with what I got. I don't have to work for, at least a decade if I don't want to, but I just can't. I got to do something. So, but I could just sit around and do nothing. But you were talking about something earlier, and I meant to chime in, but we kept going and we moved on to another thing. But there's kind of like three types of people. And I see a lot of this with the heating, air conditioning business and the owners in the HVAC business. Is there's proactive people. Those are the people that you see continuing to move forward. Ryan is completely proactive. Like, he's reading, he's searching for the key, the secret, the silver bullet to figure out this business thing so he can win, to help everyone else in the business win.
Yep.
And that's how you have to be in business. But then there's people that are just reactive. You're either proactive, you're forward thinking, you're looking towards the future, you're reactive, which is you're just putting out fires all day long, every day. You're not really moving forward. You get buried in the minutia of daily activity that really doesn't move the needle. And that's where we help, with the coaching business that we do now is people like that who are just stuck, and they don't know how to get to that next level. Maybe they're missing some skills that we can help them develop. Maybe they just don't have the roadmap to know what to do
Yeah.
to make these changes that can happen and can, increase their lives and help them gain traction again in
And
their business.
sadly,
Because
Ryan is proactive, but obviously I'm not the owner. But as a general manager, I bounce back and forth between proactive and reactive. Like
you bet.
sometimes I'm banging, I'm working on things because it's always like I'm dealing with like the now and the weeks, and Ryan's trying to stay 6 months ahead. You know what I mean? And
Yes,
and
yes.
and that's what we're trying to do. But I always like to be a little bit ahead in the business or in life. But then sometimes you get bombarded that's exactly what I'm doing. I feel like a fireman. I'm putting out fires all day. I have
Yeah,
to.
and that's part of being a manager. That
Yeah,
is
but
really part of being a manager. Yeah.
But I think I have to be able to go back and forth, but I have
Yeah.
to know when to pull back, like when to get back, you know, to being proactive. Like do what you
Yeah.
got to do in the reactive and then bounce right back. Don't dwell in this one too long because that becomes a problem.
Yeah, you have to like the goal is to eventually just be proactive in your role, and but it's a hard thing to do when there's so much happening in the business. Like we said earlier, like there's so many aspects of this business. I believe if you can run a really healthy, profitable, you know, pretty well oiled machine in this business, man, you can run any business. This business there's a lot of nuances to it. There's a lot of variables.
Yeah.
And and if you can make it through that, then you can run any business, I'm telling you. So but there is probably a skill gap of some type or a mindset shift that needs to happen in order to gain some traction again if you're not gaining traction in your business, because you should always be gaining traction. And the third type of people are just inactive people. They're probably the ones on your team doing the bare minimum. They get out on calls and they're just scrolling on Facebook. They're not working.
Yeah.
Um, and most people who decide to open a business or even be a manager in a business who are inactive, that means they're probably dropping the ball a lot. So they're not even reacting efficiently.
Yeah.
Then they just don't last. Those people don't last. But you can stay stuck in reactive mode I'm not kidding you, Gil. I've talked to people. I was talking to a guy. I wrote about it in my book. Of course, I didn't tell you his name, but he was looking for a coach because he was just working himself to death. And I said, how long do you want to be the type of person who does this and sacrifices all their time with their family for work? And he's like, Kelley, I kid you not. Right now, my daughter is graduating from junior high, and I'm not there. I've got 3 more calls to run. And there are so many people in our industry out there doing that. And they're not living life.
No.
They're giving up their entire lives for their customers. It's ludicrous. It's insane, and it's got to stop. And so that's why I'm just so I was that person, man, and I just want to help people not be that person.
Amen,
You
dude.
know?
I was that person for the other company that I worked and thought that
Yeah,
that was the only way there was to be,
yeah,
until I found out that there wasn't. And that's when I say, like, when you find out that um, there's another way, it's crazy. And that's why I tell people, like, you could make legitimate money in this trade and you don't have to work your balls off. Like, there's companies. I'm not saying you got to be some, commission selling fucking, piece of shit, because that's not true. We don't do that at
no,
Beltway. And I always say, I got young guys making good money in their home to take their girlfriends out and do things that I couldn't afford to do at their age. And that makes me happy to see that change. And that's why, I want these people to know that you can make so much money in this fucking industry legitimately without fucking killing yourself. Because what's it all for? To be 40 with a couple of dollars in the bank, you're fucking divorced, your kids hate you. I don't want to be that guy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, that sucks.
yeah,
You can always make money.
and
You can't get time back.
I mean, if you focus enough time, anyone can make money. It's the problem is you trade everything for money, and that's no life. Like to not even be able to enjoy it with somebody, or you got a new girlfriend every 3 months. I mean, that's probably appealing to some people, but not me.
No.
I like I enjoy my relationship because we know each other so well, and we just love each other at such a deep level. It just gets better every single year.
Yeah.
Like
It's
I can't even describe it. I just feel so fortunate and so blessed, and I'm so lucky, and but I've worked my ass off too to make this happen.
yeah.
So
And that's how I feel. Me and
it's
my wife have been through so
mhm.
many ups and downs. And, my wife, she'll get mad at me for saying this because of her brain surgery has, you know, gained weight and doesn't feel like she should about herself. And I was like, babe, like, you are so beautiful to me. You've been with me through so many things that nobody else has been through. And I know that no matter what life throws at us, when I look beside me, you're standing there. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to prove anything to me. You know what I mean? Like I don't
Yeah,
care. It doesn't matter to me. Um, and it's I think it's just something that when you grow as a person, and it's, I don't know, like, just things change at some point, because I think that I've been very fortunate. I never thought years ago that I would have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I do, I've become somewhat successful financially. I can do what I want when I want. I don't worry about it. But when you watch some of these things and they say 90% of people, or it might be more, 90% of people, you know, um, work themselves to death all year, don't get to do things with their family to go on a 1 week vacation. Like,
yeah.
and when
That's
he
what we
breaks,
see.
exactly, when he breaks it down, he's like, that's fucking ludicrous. He's like, you kill yourself, 51 weeks of the year so that you can go away for 1 week and start it all over. He's like, fuck that. He's like, I don't want to live like that.
And when you're an HVAC business owner, that 1 week, if you even give yourself that, you're worried about the business the whole time you're gone.
Yeah. Or it's in the wintertime because you
How
can't leave during the
senseless is
summer.
that? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's senseless. Like it doesn't have to be that way. It's a mindset shift. It's knowing what to do, how to do it, implementing the strategies, tearing apart your business piece by piece to get the most out of it with the least expense, so you can have more money to take. I've talked to guys, Gil, I'm telling you, 15, 18, 19 years in the business, owning a business, uh, haven't taken a vacation in the last 10 years
No.
at all, like gone anywhere.
And, and I think,
It's absolutely insane.
yes. And I think some of the worst ones. So I said this, I think it was on a different show. It was with the HVAC Nights with Adrian, Curtis, and Kraus. That when you start a business, obviously the business is whatever you want it to be. Like Ryan, he wants to build it big. He wants to build something that, changes the game. Some people start a business that they don't want it to be big. They're just, they want it
Right.
to take care of their family, maybe a couple other people, and that's it. Maybe there's like 10 people, 5 people total, whatever. That's fine. But those smaller ones, I think that they're even worse than the ones who build it bigger, because they have to still run calls and stuff like that, and they're afraid to say no to a customer. Like,
Yes.
you don't have to be open 24 hours. Hey, we close at 6 o'clock. We're closed on Sundays. That's
Yeah.
okay. Like, that's, a lot of customers will appreciate that, and they'll be like, you know what? And when they know the reason why, you know what, Gil, I'll see you on Monday, man. Enjoy your family. You know what I mean? People have hearts. They'll realize that. We make those sacrifices thinking because that's the only way you're going to get what you want. That's, keep grinding, keep going, keep doing it. Fuck that. Fuck that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Fuck it. It's not worth it. At the end of the day, like Gil said, all you wind up with is poor health and ruined relationships and broken whatever, broken homes.
Yeah.
It's
Diabetes, fucking your health's fucked up,
yeah,
you're overweight.
absolutely. High blood pressure.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not worth it, man. So if anybody listens to this show and gets from anything, for one, it's awesome having Kelley back, being able to chat. But second of all, is just, put all your energy in the right places, and everything else should figure itself out. And if you don't want to do something, don't fucking do it. It's just, work is a means to get you and your family where you want to be, to do what you want to do, to, if that's sitting on the couch just watching something with your children, you know what I mean? Like, when I do things with my kids and I play these games or whatever it is, do I necessarily want to play those games or watch those movies? Not necessarily, but I want to spend that time with them. And if that's what makes them happy, then it makes me happy. I'll watch fucking Frozen 55 fucking times if that's what puts a smile on their face. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is.
But if you go to work and it's because you go to work to do those things and you're not getting those things, like, fucking check yourself. Like, it's all here. It's all right here.
Yeah.
There's something you're avoiding. There's something you're pretending not to know. So stop pretending. Just take care of it. Change. Do something different. Get a different outcome. Produce a different result.
Yeah, Jason Johnson put alcoholic, drug addicted, and divorced, and sadly, that's the truth, man. Like, that's why alcoholism, drugs, mental health is so big in the trades in general, because of what we just said. Because people work so hard and it's physically demanding. It happens, and people, rather than dealing with it or fixing what they have to fix, they hide it with those things, and that's how they end up getting through life. They have to get smashed every weekend just to kind of numb it, to be able to do it again all over. And I'm not saying don't have a couple of drinks or whatever it is, but that's the vicious cycle that happens. I've been there, done that, and when you're stuck in it, you don't think you're ever going to get out of it. You really don't. And I thank the good Lord that I got out of it and I'm able to actually live life. And I'm not anywhere. I'm not even where I want to be. I still see improvements and things that I can make better. So.
Absolutely. I think if there ever comes a day where you can't see improvements, then you're probably, like, you're enlightened at that point. Like, people are worshiping you if that happens.
Or
it's never going to happen. Like,
or I have wings and I look down and my body's down there.
Exactly.
Like, it's been a good
ride. So that's been my mantra. It became my mantra as soon as I learned it. I learned it from Tony Robbins, but it's constant and never ending improvement. I tattooed it on my arm. And it's still like, we're never done. We're never done. This is a work in progress. So constant, never ending improvement. Take that into, like, your part of being, have it be your belief system, and do something about it, actually act on it. Because the only person who's stopping you from getting what you want in life, in relationships, and whatever it is you want, I don't care what it is you.
Yep.
You are it's all you. Not because of what happened to you in the past that's already done, that you can't change. But right here in this moment, right now, like, decide, make a decision, say, like, I'm not going to live this way anymore. I'm going to change what I'm doing. Sometimes it's usually the things that make us change, it's inspiration or desperation. And most of the time it's desperation. Most of the time we hit rock bottom. That's what happened with me. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know how I was going to figure out how to run this damn business. Didn't know. I was out of energy, out of money. My relationships in shambles because I'm never home anymore.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know what to do. But I kept going. I found some people. That's when I hit that place and I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I took a class, just some random class, and a guy started showing me things at the class, like, hey, this is not, like, price this job. And I tried to price it, and I was way off. It needed to be sold for a lot more money. And I started learning about overhead. Like I've always said on my videos, like you start learning what it actually takes to deliver the service that you have. It's a lot, and it's way more now than it ever has been, just because of, if you want to compete, it's hard to compete without adding a bunch of expenses to your company.
Yeah.
Which means you have to sell more and you have to be priced right. More calls, if you're not priced right, if you don't have processes in place, aren't going to save you. Like it will actually compound things and make it worse. You'll just have chaos on your hands.
Yeah. So,
and you possibly would run out of money if you got enough calls, because more calls when you're not priced right, or you don't have a sales process or a service call process, it hurts your business tremendously.
Yeah, it's willy-nilly. So in a nutshell, what we're saying is,
life sucks. Get a helmet.
you know, so I know we've been all over the place, man, but that's just
Yeah,
the
you
truth.
bet.
And,
that's what we do, man.
Yeah. And that's real and raw, be like, Kelley's giving you his story, how we got through those things, because he put blood, sweat, and tears into a business that he built from the ground up for 14 years. And then when it sold, he didn't, he figured out, he found life again. Like, oh my God, like I can do this, I can do that. So that's where that came from,
That's what I was going to say when I was talking about coming full circle is, and this just in July, my wife and I we were invited to go as guests just for like a vacation at this retreat center in Costa Rica. And so we went there, and if you walk down the road, it was like in rural Costa Rica, but if you walk down to the end of the driveway from where we stayed, which was in the country, and you turn left, you'd walk about a quarter mile and there's a beach that was public, but it's not like what you think when you think public beach. It was only locals that ever came there. And a couple of times we went down there, we were the only ones there. If you turn the other way and walked a quarter mile, there was like a little convenience store that was like, it was kind of like when you stick your head up into the attic, when you're during the summer and the heat wave hits you. That's what it was like when you stepped inside of this little convenience store.
Oh, geez.
Like no air conditioning. I mean, this is rural Costa Rica. And so, but one thing that I realized there is that we did all this one morning. We walked down to the convenience store and we went and we played in the beach, and we just had a great time. And we get back, and man, like 2.5 hours passed. That's all. 2.5 hours of being 100% present, 100% in the moment, enjoying life. It made me realize that I haven't been living life, even after the business sold. I hadn't been living life. So that's kind of been my new mission, is to help other business owners. HVAC, just happened to be in the HVAC industry because I'm in the industry now for, I don't know, 28, going on 28 years or 27 plus years. And man, it's time to live. It's time to give yourself permission to have some fun, to take your girlfriend out, or your wife out, or your husband out, whatever, and just go have fun and be present. Schedule a vacation, do it. Like no one's promised tomorrow.
No.
You might not wake up tomorrow. You may not be here next summer if you want to wait that long to take your next vacation. Schedule a vacation in the next 3 months.
You're all going to die.
I'm just kidding.
So,
but it's the truth, though.
Buddy,
not
you're
to make
right.
fun of what you're saying, but it is true, man.
It is true. So don't wait. Just get it done. Go do it. That way you can, memories are worth a lot more than the money that you'll save from not going on vacation. Just put it that way.
And that's true. And that's one thing that I love about the podcast, that it's got me into cameras, because, I went and bought myself, I've upgraded the stuff in here, but I bought myself a really nice camera that's for video and pictures, but I use it more for the family, like taking videos of things, taking pictures. And when we move, a lot of the pictures and stuff that I'm going to put up through the house are pictures that I've taken. And
Yeah.
I love that part of it because I can look at that picture and it takes me back to the moment where I took it. You know, and I love that part of it, that it's gotten me into photography and videography and stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So
amazing.
it is. It's just time to live. We can't be a slave to our business. Can't be a slave no matter what role you play in the business.
Yeah, just don't be a slave to life. You know,
Don't be a slave to it. Yeah.
yeah. So yes, there's definitely a tax write-off, rookie. But shit, man, it's getting late since we started late. So, Kelley, I want to thank you for coming on, brother. I'm glad to see that, you know, so many things of positive happen to you at life, that you're enjoying yourself, and that you know, being able to do things that you really want to do that make you happy, man. I missed you. I appreciate you and your friendship, man. We definitely have to stay in touch more, even if it's just by phone. But I'm glad that we did this and you came back on, man. It's awesome. I'm glad to see that everything, you know, life's been good to you since you left your, you know, let your business go, and that you freed yourself.
100. 100. Thank you so much, man. I can't. Um, everything you said, completely agree with. I appreciate your friendship. Appreciate having me back on. I appreciate that, and I am, dude. I'm truly. I can honestly say, like, I'm really happy right now. So I appreciate that. And if anybody, real quick, if anybody wants some help with their business, like, please reach out to me. You can go just like hashtag HVAC Millionaire or hashtag HVAC Millionaire Coaching on Instagram, or HVACacceleratorchallenge.com/5, like the number 5-day. If you want to join the challenge, each day we teach something new, and you'll come away with it with incredible new ideas and insights to grow your business. So that's what lights me up, man. That's what I'm passionate about, and I'm just getting to do what I'm passionate about. So thank you.
Yeah, of
And
course.
thanks for having me on. And
Yeah,
yeah,
and
go ahead.
go find out his books. So business or busy to shit.
Busyness to business.
Busy, that's what it is. To that one, and then when his new one comes out, Rookie said, plug his book for $49.99. Use code uncensored for 10% discount. No, just buy it at full price. Like I said,
Yeah.
when it comes to friends, you don't need a discount. I want them to get what they deserve. But also text me those things as well. So when I go back and redo these show notes proper, I'll make sure to include all those links so people can find you, and even when the audio goes out as well. So, all right, brother, I'm going to close this out.
Sounds
man.
good.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Me, brother. Yep. Love you, man.
Love you too, buddy. Man. Thank you, guys. Sorry about tonight. It was goofy. I think I realized what happened. I had to make a video for HouseCall Pro, so I had to change a setting on here to record only, not stream. So I think that's what happened. I just realized that, so my bad. But thank all you guys for sticking around, all that, and coming back on, man. This was a really fun, kind of sentimental episode, man. Me and Kelley sat in front of these microphones for 100+ episodes, talking and, you know, sharing our blood, sweat, and tears, our knowledge on the industry, you know, helping people and all those different kind of things, man. Slobberfest. It was, Sam. Oh, well, you know, we were on here fucking like, oh, I love you. But it was good, man. I'm glad to have him back on. It was cool to sit here and chat and catch up and see that he's doing so well now. You know, after leaving the show and, you know, all kind of changes, you know, leaving the podcast, selling a business that he'd been doing for 14 years. So I'm glad to see that he's doing so well. And if any of you are out there are in that position and you're searching for, oh my God, year-round HVAC, Joshua, how the hell are you, my man? I thought I was reading it funny. I have not seen that name in years, but I hope everything's well with you, my man. I'm so good to see your name in there, especially the episode that me and Kelley do. Your name pops up. So what is up, buddy? Love you, man. I hope everything is good. But yeah, it was awesome to have Kelley come back on here and sit there and chat with him, dude. And if any of you guys are going out there with your business and, you know, you feel exactly like Kelley said he was feeling, that you were struggled, things weren't working, you know, your way, you were, you know, just felt like you were in quicksand, give Kelley stuff a try, man. Reach out to him. Let him help guide you so you don't have to make the same mistakes that he did. That's exactly what that's for. And I will get in the show notes after this. I'll go back in and change them to what it should have been and add all Kelley's information so you could find him. And if God forbid you miss it, just email me, hvacuncensored@gmail.com, and I will make sure that you get everything over to him. And just search HVAC Millionaire and you will find Kelley. All right? With that being said, man, remember to follow the podcast and all the social media sites. Help this thing keep getting bigger. Spread it out as many people as possible. Remember, be safe out there. We all got somebody to make it home to. Keep your head on a swivel. It's driving. It's the breaker. I say the same things every week because they're so little, but I hear dumb stuff. Like the guy that you work with every day, don't trust that the breaker's turned off. Double check. Driving down the road, driving home today, and people cut you off. And if I wouldn't have, been looking or paying attention, I could have rear-ended somebody and been in an accident. Like just little things. Just pay attention. Make sure you make it home at the end of the day, and you're going back home to your family. Do the little things. Set yourself apart from the next guy or girl. I always say this. It's what we talked about tonight. Light that fire under your ass. If there's something you haven't done or you've been wanting to do, well, goddamn it, go do it. All right? Go do it. And, get what you want. You know what I mean? But you've had enough of that tonight. With that being said, man, I love each and every one of you. I appreciate each and every one of you. Whether you watch this show, you listen to the audio, I thank you for your support. And let's keep going. I'll talk with you mofos later. All right? Peace.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored Podcast may not necessarily be the views